Xin hỏi anh là ai? Sao bắt tôi làm điều gì sai? Xin hỏi anh là ai? Sao đánh tôi chẳng một chút nương tay? Xin hỏi anh là ai? Không cho tôi xuống đường để tỏ bày tình yêu quê hương này, dân tộc này đã có nhiều đắng cay. Xin hỏi anh ở đâu? Ngăn bước tôi trong giặc tàu ngoại xâm. Xin hỏi anh ở đâu? Sao mắng tôi bằng giọng nói dân tôi? Dân tộc anh...
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 1:16 p.m. Today is Thursday, February the 20th, 2020. I am Venerable Thich Thong Lai. I want to send my dearest greetings to all people in the country and overseas Vietnam. In the past few days, I was busy with a number of Buddhist monks, so I did not have any live stream to answer questions from my fellow countrymen whom are interested in updating the news of the Wuhan corona flu epidemic. Today, I want to spend some free time to answer a few questions. It is 1:17 p.m. California time. I'd like to greet you and let me read an email. Venerable Thich Thong Lai, in the past few days, we are Buddhist followers in Vietnam who want to follow the update of information about the situation of this Wuhan corona flu. Where did it go? But we did not see anything from you. Please take a moment to answer our question as follows. First, the Vietnamese government claims to have cured the corona flu and that 16 out of 19 people have completed recovery. Second, why is it that in Ho Chi Minh City there is an urgent request to ask the Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc to allow all students in Saigon to be off of school until the end of March? Next, there were a series of considerate sources who watch online that Korea, Japan, and Taiwan banned all the flights from Vietnam to their land in their country. Therefore, we got bewildered. Vietnam had cured the flu. Then why did other countries in Southeast Asia stop all Vietnamese flights to land? Please take some of your time to answer these questions. We wish you great health. Signed by a Buddhist follower, group in Saigon City. Best regards, Venerable Thong Lai. So, in this letter, you immediately saw a contradiction. First of all, Vietnam claimed to have cured of the coronavirus originated from Wuhan. Ever since Vietnam had announced that it had cured this virus and no epidemic is considered raging in Vietnam, then why is there an emergency telegram from Ho Chi Minh City sending to the Prime Minister asking the Prime Minister to instruct the Ministry of Education to allow students in Ho Chi Minh City to an extra leave until the end of March? You have to pay close attention to this matter. After all, why is there a letter from Ho Chi Minh City, an urgent message that has been published on the global internet, asking the Prime Minister to instruct the Ministry of Education and Training to allow Ho Chi Minh City students entitled for an extra leave of absence until the end of March? If this epidemic has ended, all the schools must be open. Why was there an urgent request? I want to make it clear for you. 2 weeks ago, all the expatriates, all overseas Vietnamese in the United States, overseas Vietnamese in Europe and Australia who traveled on China Airlines or Cathay Pacific flights have to redirect to fly into South Korea or Taiwan in order to return to the U.S. As of now, Japan and South Korea have simultaneously seen Vietnam claim to have cured their illness and no one is infected with the corona flu virus, which originated from Wuhan. Japan had immediately stopped issuing all student visa and work visas. They also stopped all flights to Japan from Vietnam and suspended all flights from Japan to Vietnam. At the same time, South Korea, after hearing the Vietnamese Communist government announce that they have cured the corona treatment, immediately ordered the suspension of all entry visas from Vietnamese students for labor exports to South Korea. They temporarily stopped flights from Seoul, which is the capital of South Korea, to Ho Chi Minh and Noi Bai Airport and vice versa. All flights from Ho Chi Minh and Noi Bai Airport are not allowed to land at Seoul Airport. As you can clearly see, Taiwan also made a clear decision to suspend all entry visa, immigration visa, and all flights from Vietnam. Australia also stopped all entry visa and any form of investment in Australia. Why so? As you have seen and watched over the last few days, I just want to emphasize an answer for my Buddhist follower group only. First of all, Japanese medical and economical and technical qualifications are on par with the United States. Japan is an economic superpower country. Every item made in Japan, from cars to computers, from all household appliances to other appliances, have a superb quality. Japanese medical system was very good, but they claimed that they have surrendered to the coronavirus from Wuhan. Why did the Japanese surrender? First of all, the Diamond Princess ship that docked on the coast of Japan initially had only a few infected patients. As time went on, the number of infected people went up to 650. Those who have came to contact and serve the passengers to monitor and treat the illness on the Diamond Princess became infected as well. The number of infected corona wound kept rising. Why did Japan announce to surrender? Because they found that some infected Japanese who had never been to or nor communicated with the territory of China and had absolutely no possible way to expose to the coronavirus. The Japanese government did not cover up the number of infected patients after the people get sick. In Japan, the number of infected people are booming. There are dozens of staff in the health ministry of Japan, and the Japanese government are meeting openly to the public. So now Japan is spreading this coronavirus that had infected Japanese citizens. They immediately thought that this corona flu had invaded by the aviation traffic. The connection from Vietnam to Japan must be suspended. Japan ordered not to issue any visa nor approve entry and exit for all citizens from Vietnam because they know Vietnam is a virus reservoir. Vietnam is the only country in the world open its door for China communists can travel freely. Among the 80 countries in the world, including superpower countries such as the United States, the United Kingdom, France and Germany, the countries of the wealthy black G20 have also had closed escapes to Japan. Between the rich and developing countries, over 80 countries have closed their borders to Chinese communists. Now, other countries in Southeast Asia as well. Only Vietnam is open its borders to welcome China. When Vietnam's communists announced that they have completed their cure to the corona flu, immediately Australia, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan announced that all flights to and from Vietnam must be suspended until new order has issued. As you can see, the Japanese studied how this flu virus works. It spreads to Japan, who have never left Japan. It spread to Japanese who have never left Japan and never interacted with Chinese people from the Wuhan epidemic center. At the end of the conclusion, the Japanese people were infected by airborne through airports and ports. Therefore, the Japanese began to isolate and localize infected areas. Vietnam was one of the virus net. From this event, I advise my disciples in Saigon not to rely on Vietnamese Communist report. When the Communist government declares any report, you must think about the opposite and never believe what they claim. That's the lesson that the Chinese government is paying for covering up the flu in Wuhan City. On January 21st, 2020, Dr. Li Wenlai was working in a hospital in Wuhan. He specialized in viral bacteria in Wuhan City. He declared that this coronavirus must be stopped or else China would face a bigger problem. Dr. Li Wenlai was arrested, warned, and fined. Immediately, he was isolated. Ever since his death from the infection of the coronavirus, all the Chinese social media channel has spoken out against Xi Jinping. It is clear that Chinese communists have no control over this virus. The first sign is that about a week ago, Xi Jinping ordered the blockage of Hubei province, the heaviest with the city of Wuhan, blockage of Hunan, blockage of Shizhen, blockage of Jiangdong, Jinshan, Shanghai, and Beijing. But since February 19, 2020, Xi Jinping had begun ordering the undue blockage of all citizens of Shenzhen, Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhou, Zhuhai, Wuhan, and Hubei. Only Wuhan City still is to be isolated. In addition, all other cities must open their doors and all public officers have to go back to work. However, Xi Jinping's orders have not been followed by local authorities, including the Hubei Province Party Secretary and the City Party Secretary in Wuhan City. They were demoted by Xi Jinping. 2 new officers were assigned to take over the Hubei Provincial Party Secretary and City Party Committee of Wuhan City. However, the incumbent secretary of the Hubei Province Party Committee and the current secretary of the Wu City Party Committee did not obey the order. They issued a letter in response stating that they would share the city of Wuhan and Hubei and they did not do wrong. Therefore, they would not resign and hand over their position. At the present time, the central leader, Xi Jinping, dismissed the secretary of Hubei Province and the secretary of Wuhan City. And these 2 senior leaders have not handed over their position. On the contrary, they also wrote a letter informing all military officers in Hubei Province and Wuhan City to not follow the order of Xi Jinping. They had sent letters and even reports about the magnitude and spreading of this outbreak. From the 21st century, they received the orders from Beijing to suppress the information about the virus, reducing all the numbers of the reports immediately. All the people warned about the virus, including the 8 doctors who worked at the Wuhan clinic, were taken to the police station. They made minutes, punished and warned. The famous information was Dr. Li Wenlai, who passed away about 10 days ago. From January 21st, the Secretary of Hubei Provincial Party Committee and the City Party Committee of Wuhan made documents and letters to Xi Jinping, reporting and requesting for medical support. They requested the medical assistant to stop this viral infection because it's becoming an epidemic of Hubei. At present, the Hubei government chairman had not followed orders from Xi Jinping. The Hunan had established a government to oppose the central government, which have been recently seen. All the information against Xi Jinping had been circulated online. The Hunan people informed that their own independent government, the Hubei Provincial Party Committee Secretary, has also opposed the deposition letter of Xi Jinping. The City Party Committee Secretary of Wuhan also against the letter of domination from Xi Jinping. The 2 new assigned officers of Xi Jinping were unable to take over the chair of Hubei Provincial Party Committee and the City Party Committee of Wuhan. This proved a crack has occurred in the Chinese Communist regime. You see clearly the signs of the 5 suns appearing in the sky of China. This event actually happened in the days of China still under monarchy and ruled by emperors. All the famous archaeologists predicted China will be divided into 5 different small countries. There will be 5 governments to rule the new China, not just Xi Jinping. Those are the points you see clearly. In addition, thousands of black crows are flying in the sky is a bad sign. In fact, it is not strange because all the incinerators in Wuhan City burn a few hundred corpses a day, and 14 to 15,000 corpses so far. The smell of the dead bodies pollutes the atmosphere in China. The birds were guided by the smell to find the corpse to eat. The aurora of death went over the boundaries of China. This deadly odor had attacks to the insect to find food. The 4 billion locust herbs in India and Pakistan are turning to head to China. Just like Shakyamuni Buddha predicted that when a pandemic happens, starvation will follow. If you have hunger, there must be locusts. In the history of Vietnam, since the monarchy time, we also had evil kings and locusts that destroyed crops and created famines. Back to the current situation in Vietnam, you see now that the aviation industry of Vietnam Communist has suffered serious loss. How many billions of dollars in Vietnam have been lost since the Wuhan corona flu wreaked havoc in our territory? How much money has been lost from the railroad companies? The railroad company suffered terrible damage because China Communists still allowed Chinese people to pass through border gates and transport into the country of Vietnam by train. Although the air route is banned and Chinese no longer can fly from Wuhan to Vietnam, however, the open road is the railway. Air travel routes were temporarily unavailable from Vietnam to China or from China to Vietnam. However, the railroad is still open to welcome tens and thousands of Chinese people to immigrate away from the Wuhan epidemic. For that reason, the number of passengers and tourists who have been reserved for local tourists have been cancelled. Evidence is that tourists at Thanh Xuyen Airport and Noi Bai Airport were absent for all the tours. Only a handful of the Vietnamese overseas still at Thanh Xuyen Airport tried to return to the United States and vice versa. The train industry also suffered big loss. If not, then why no money to pay for the 11,000 railroad employees? As news stated, the Communist Party did not have money to pay to those 11,000 employees in the Vietnamese railway system. The aviation industry decided to drop airfare to all domestic flights by 60 to 70%. What I said has been posted on the global internet. There was no pay for the 11 to 12,000 employees who worked for the Communist railway system of Vietnam. The airline industry does not have enough money to pay for Boeing 747, chartered Boeing 737, so all domestic fares have been cut 60 to 70%. The Vietnamese Party's Communist has the reason to say it had cured all corona flu in Vietnam. Other superpower countries, including the United States, Japan, including the United Kingdom, Australia, have only discovered the origins of this virus. Unfortunately, this virus is constantly mutating, so Japan claimed that they have surrendered. When Japanese government declared that they have surrendered to this coronavirus in this month because the virus was constantly mutating, it didn't behave like the Ebola virus epidemic 10 years ago. There was a cure for the Ebola virus because it did not deform. There are people who were diagnosed positive for this Wuhan virus. They were treated and it took 2 weeks. After that, they were tested again. they still have this virus deformed and in a different shape. It seems that it's still continuing to make this person who gets sick with flu again. This month, they announced that the Wuhan virus can reoccur and is dangerous for 14 days. However, these coronavirus spread by 6 people can last up to 20 days. There are places where people have been tested and it can live up to 40 days. It can continue to mutate. Is the main reason why Japan declared its surrender. The first infected Japanese who have never left Japan never interacted with people who were infected from China. Therefore, they concluded that the virus has spread in the air. It also spread among tourists, and these tourists had visited all the markets of Japan. Since then, Japan has been ordered to ban and not grant any visas from all visitors from Vietnam. Those are the things you see in foreign countries that have strong economical background. They have a vast medical background, and they have a budget to fund health department against the coronavirus. Their budget is hundreds of billions of dollars, while the Socialist Republic of Vietnam has no money to pay for its railroad workers. At the moment, there are tens and thousands of workers in Quang Ninh area that have multiple Chinese factories. The workers are on strike and request that these Chinese people be isolated after coming back from China. Ladies and gentlemen, rich countries have advanced health and have good teams of doctors who are still very cautious about the coronavirus. Vietnam isolated the people who come from viral reservoirs in the shelters of the field hospital. These shelters are absence of doctors and nurses. They are using protection masks made of toilet paper. Do you think this coronavirus will spare the Vietnamese people? If Vietnam had cured the flu of corona, then why not speak up to register or invent a patent, the medicine to kill the Wuhan coronavirus? However, Vietnam still be silent. If the disease is cured, there is no need for an urgent message from Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, and send to the Prime Minister to request a longer leave of absence until the end of March. It is 10 more days till the end of February. You can see clearly that the Communists declared on the TV station from the mouth of the Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc, people who work in the Communist government of the Ministry of Education did not believe. They generated an emergency telegram to ask the Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc consider an order from the Ministry of Education to allow Ho Chi Minh City students to leave until the end of March. Even Communist members who are working and serving for the Communist Party couldn't believe Nguyễn Xuân Phúc statements are true. Those who are serving the Communist Party have higher positions of authority. They also did not know Communists as well as those who work in Ho Chi Minh City's government offices. If they generate an urgent document requesting students to take long breaks for over a month, then you can clearly see. How can the people believe that they are treating the flu successfully? The report was not reflecting the truth. Even if a fake report is made, the virus is not afraid. We have to rely on the assumption of a dangerous virus that made by all the rich and free nations. They have strong economy in defending for their people. They are to protecting their people from the epidemic. Recently, there are a number of Buddhists working in Singapore. They say that the number of infected with the coronavirus have exploded in Singapore. Why is that? Because Singapore is a free nation. Singapore is a country that does not withhold any information. Singapore encourages its people to know about the flu. Anyone who has symptoms of a cough does not need to go away, but must go to the hospital for treatment. Same goes with the typical Western countries. Singapore and countries with high economy in Southeast Asia. Singapore have an average of 40 $40,000-$50,000 annually. There are also wealthy countries like the United States and Australia. The income of Singaporeans are very high. Although they are just an island nation, not bigger than Phu Quoc Island, but their intellectual level is very high. They are not hiding people who are infected. Therefore, it is common for them to have dozens of infected people. In South Korea, they also realized that these spread were coming from the airports that have Vietnamese passengers, from labor export workers. After the New Year in Vietnam, Taiwan also has export labor workers returning from Vietnam. Use your logic to follow the situation. You would understand the reason Japan had banned and grant visas to Vietnamese since Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc declared that Vietnam had stopped the coronavirus. South Korea also followed Japan after Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc announced that Vietnam had found a way to treat the coronavirus. Japan does not issue visas for the Vietnamese regarding any reason because Japan has not yet found a drug to treat this coronavirus. You then see Australia also prohibit to issue visas for Vietnamese students and Vietnamese travel who want to fly to Australia to visit relatives. The U.S. embargo not allowing Vietnamese tourists to come over. United Kingdom, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and then Taiwan also did the same. You can clearly see that the wealthy countries that have been well developed and have a huge budget to go against the coronavirus, and they still very conservative and full alert about this virus. While the Vietnamese communists have run out of money, they can no longer pay for its railroad workers. Vietnamese airline had claimed a loss of tens of billions of dollars. Vietnam is no longer allowed to be listed as a developmental country. It is no longer have exclusive economical privilege. The overseas Vietnamese no longer returning to support and exchange their money. Now it's clear for you that the Vietnamese communists will fall following the downfall of the communist Chinese government. Those who have children, all parents and wives, keep an eye out for the world prevention of the coronary influenza. Never listen to false statements from Nguyễn Xuân Phúc, from the Minister of Health, and from people who have received instruction from Xi Jinping to massacre the Vietnamese people. Closing school is not enough. Closing shopping is not enough. Closing flights is not enough. It is necessary to close the border. That is what all the Vietnamese must demand, and Vietnam will not become Wuhan someday. Again, if there are only 16 infected people, then why build many field hospitals? Why isolate 700 people in Hanoi? How many people in Binh Dong? How many people in Tân Hào? How many people in Chu Chi? And how many people in Saigon? 3 weeks ago, 33 people died in Cho Wei Hospital. Some doctors decided not to cover up the information and broadcast it on Facebook. If only 16 people were infected with the coronavirus, why is a big number of people were quarantined in Vietnam? Even 10,000 people in the province of Vĩnh Phúc were isolated. That is the most obvious answer. Sincerely, respect all Buddhist followers. Thank you for having faith in me and to update the news daily. Use your head to think if you should believe it or not. Sincerely yours. I will try to keep you updated with the news that will benefit the people of Vietnam and to minimize life loss in the near future. When Vietnam becomes Wuhan, it will be 100 times more catastrophic than Chinese communists. When Vietnam becomes Wuhan, it will be 100 times more claustrophobic than Chinese communists. Sincerely yours. Please mentally prepare. The Chinese communists will collapse and will be torn into 5 pieces like the 5 sons. At that time, all the dogs and henchmen will run away. We must do everything we can to save our people through this great disaster. Currently, China is bringing a lot of Chinese and Chinese soldiers into the special economic zone to prepare to take over our country. The people of Chinese communists with the Wuhan virus are allowed to enter Vietnam to destroy the Chinese people. The Chinese has no problem of having their people die from the flu. They can sacrifice 100 million Chinese people to wipe out 100 million Vietnamese people from the world map. Sincerely, and please take care of yourself. Don't believe what the communists say, but look carefully at what the communists are doing. Sincerely yours, Master Thich Thong Lai.
Họ bảo vệ dân tộc họ như thế nào. Và gần đây quý vị thấy thầy có một số người Phật tử họ đang làm việc ở tại Singapore. Họ nói rằng con số mà virus cúm corona Vũ Hán đã bùng phát mạnh mẽ ở tại Singapore. Tại sao vậy? Vì Singapore là một quốc gia tự do. Singapore là một quốc gia không có giấu nhẹm thông tin. Mà Singapore họ còn coi như
Việt Nam ơi, thời gian qua nửa đời người và ta đã tỏ tường rồi. Ôi cuộc đời ngày sau tàn lửa khói, mẹ Việt Nam đau từng cơn xót dạ nhìn đời, người lầm than đói khổ nghèo nàn, kẻ quyền uy giàu sang dối gian. Giờ đây Việt Nam còn hay đã mất, mà giặc tàu ngang tàng trên quê hương ta. Hoàng Trường Sa đã bao người dân vô tội chết ngậm ngùi vì tay súng giặc tàu. Là một người con dân Việt Nam, lòng nào làm ngơ trước ngoại xâm, người người cùng nhau đứng lên đáp lời sông núi. Từng đoàn người đi chẳng nề chi, già trẻ gái trai giơ cao tay chống quân xâm lược, trong kẻ nhu nhược bán nước Việt Nam.
Việt Nam đã tìm ra cách
Việt Nam giờ đây còn hay đã mất.
Du khách Việt Nam qua Anh Quốc, rồi kế đó là Nhật Bản, kế đó là Nam Hàn, kế đó là coi như Úc Châu, và kế đó là Đài Loan. Và quý vị thấy rõ là những cái gì mà các nước mà giàu sang có nền y tế rất là phát triển và có một ngân sách bảo vệ về vấn đề phòng chống cái corona này.
Việt Nam ơi, thời gian qua nửa đời người và ta đã tỏ tường rồi. Ôi cuộc đời ngày sau tàn lửa khói, mẹ Việt Nam đau từng cơn xót dạ nhìn đời, người lầm than đói khổ nghèo nàn, các quyền uy giàu sang dối gian. Giờ đây Việt Nam còn hay đã mất, mà giặc tàu ngang tàng trên quê hương ta. Hoàng Trường Sa đã bao người dân vô tội chết ngậm ngùi vì say súng giặc tàu. Là một người con dân Việt Nam, lòng nào làm ngơ trước ngoại xâm, người người cùng nhau đứng lên đáp lời sông núi. Từng đoàn người đi chẳng nề chi, già trẻ gái trai giơ cao tay trong quân xâm lược, trong kẻ nhu nhược bán nước Việt Nam. Từng đoàn người đi chẳng hề chi, già trẻ gái trai giơ cao tay trong quân xâm lược, trong kẻ nhu nhược bán nước Việt Nam. Việt Nam tôi đâu, Việt Nam tôi đâu.
Đó là cái câu trả lời rất là rõ ràng nhất. Trân trọng kính chào này để rồi nghe lời để cập nhật tin tức, và tin hay không là quý vị hãy dùng cái đầu của quý vị để mà suy nghĩ. Trân trọng kính chào, và tôi cố gắng cập nhật những tin tức có lợi cho dân tộc Việt Nam và giảm thiểu tối đa cái vấn đề sinh mạng trong một ngày không xa, để rồi Việt Nam khi mà trở thành Vũ Hán thì Việt Nam còn thê thảm gấp trăm lần Tàu Cộng. Trân trọng kính chào quý vị, và chuẩn bị tinh thần. Tàu Cộng sẽ bị sụp đổ, Tàu Cộng sẽ bị coi xé nát ra thành 5 mảnh giống như 5 mặt trời, và lúc đó cái bọn coi như thái thú, cái bọn tay sai Tàu Cộng nó sẽ bỏ chạy, và chúng ta phải làm mọi cách để mà cứu dân tộc Việt Nam chúng ta qua cái đại họa này. Vì hiện tại Tàu Cộng đang đưa rất nhiều người Tàu và lính Tàu, và lính Tàu vào thì ở trong các đặc khu của Tàu Cộng để chuẩn bị để mà cướp nước ta. Rồi những người dân của Tàu Cộng mang di trùng Vũ Hán thì được xuất cảng sang Việt Nam để mà tiêu diệt dân tộc Việt Nam. Và người Tàu họ không thành vấn đề, họ có thể hy sinh 100 triệu người Tàu để mà họ xóa sổ 100 triệu người Việt Nam trên bản đồ thế giới. Trân trọng kính chào, và hãy bảo trọng, và đừng tin những gì Cộng sản nói, hãy nhìn kỹ những gì Cộng sản đang làm. Trân trọng kính chào quý vị.
Việt Nam ơi, thời gian qua nửa đời người, và ta đã tỏ tường rồi. Ôi cuộc đời ngày sau tàn lửa khói, mẹ Việt Nam đau từng cơn xót dạ nhìn đời. Người lầm than đói khổ nghèo nàn, kẻ quyền uy giàu sang dối gian. Giờ đây Việt Nam còn hay đã mất, mà giặc Tàu ngang tàng trên quê hương ta. Hoàng Trường Sa đã bao người dân vô tội.
Kính thưa quý
Ladies
vị,
and gentlemen, I just finished a livestream session about Xi Jinping wanting to genocide the entire Vietnamese race by using their henchman, Nguyễn Phú Trọng. However, I forgot a very important news that I just received from a female disciple who married to a Chinese husband, and she lives in Beijing. She watched my most recent live stream and reminded me that I had talked about the immigrations of hundreds and thousands of Beijing residents away from the city, which created chaos and traffic congestion. It was only partially correct. The truth is, the flu epidemic haven't reached Beijing yet. She wanted to inform me that her husband told her that a war will happen between China and Taiwan in a very few days. This is the latest information that I just received. Why do I have to talk about this? My disciple is married to a Beijing resident. She is a Vietnamese American whom works in a local Beijing university. As she watched my live stream talk about the Chinese running away from the capital of China, she said that these people ran away because they are afraid of the war that will happen very soon. I asked her the reason that China wants to go to war with Taiwan when it can barely operate because of the coronavirus, the financial problem, and hundreds and millions lost in the stock market. How can China possibly go to war with Taiwan in a time like this? My disciple reminded me that she did not know the real reason. However, her husband, which is a high-ranking government officer of Beijing, mentioned that this is a time that China will have to attack Taiwan to deviate the world's critique about China. Around the world, people look at Chinese like leopards. Her husband asked her if she knows that Xi Jinping has to attack Taiwan so the world will focus on the war and forget about the genocide of the Vietnamese. As Chinese communists transport a lot of Wuhan residents to live in the reinforcement camps, her husband and her paideers receive orders to get ready for war. War will happen for sure. Chinese communists will attack Taiwan so they can go down together. Xi Jinping wanted to attack Taiwan to gain his credential with other generals who are not pleased with his leadership, which will allow the U.S. to dominate over China. By attacking Taiwan, the world will shift its attention away from the genocide of the Vietnamese using coronavirus. Her husband also said that around 10,000 Wuhan residents around the world, from Malaysia to Singapore, will gather by the Chinese government and transported to Tibet. These people had no contact with anyone from the mainland of China, yet they still got infected from the virus. This is a chance for the Chinese communists to end the race of the Tibetan, Vietnamese, and Uyghur. Chinese communists transport dying Wuhan people from corona infection to Tibet and genocide the Tibetan and Uyghur without being condemned by the world. Vietnam is next. Xi Jinping stated that Taiwan will crumble down with China. Yesterday, the WHO, under the influence of China, removed Taiwan from the coronavirus conference. China also forced the International Aviation Association to treat Taiwan as a small province of China, not an independent nation. Taiwanese aviation can only fly as a part of China Airlines per President Tsai Ing-wen. That was a news event, and I still did not believe it. Right after that, one of my disciples, who worked for the U.S. Army stationed in Hawaii. Hawaii is a United States military-based island. You don't have to believe my words. Anyone who has relatives whom are U.S. soldiers stationed in Hawaii can call to verify. These soldiers are camping and fully alert for battle. China is walking on a very dangerous road at the time. They want to fight Taiwan to divert the attention about this virus. This is definitely going to happen. By attacking Taiwan, Xi Jinping can gain credibility with other military leadership. Xi Jinping wants Taiwan to fall with China. Evidence show the money has been used to remove Taiwan out of the World Health Organization. Taiwanese flights are still allowed to fly, but the United States will have to ban Taiwanese flight because Taiwan is not allowed to operate independently, but only to have flying privileges under Chinese aviation. This is important news. The Vietnamese people need to be well prepared. Please wash your hands frequently and wear a mask. Every time you count money, you must wash your hands. Do not let your children put the money in their mouths. Avoid going to public places and stock up food as much as possible. Chinese communists will attack Taiwan in the near future to transfer public pressure into the Chinese-China war, into the Taiwan-China war, and forget about the evil plan of killing the Uyghurs with coronavirus. Forget the genocide of Tibetans and Vietnamese people. Sincerely, and keep verifying. One day, not far, war will happen. If I know something that I find reasonable, I will inform you. For certain, China will attack Taiwan, and Taiwan now will be removed out of the World Aviation Association. Taiwan Aviation is still allowed to fly, but it flies under the name of China Aviation, flying as part of the Chinese Communists rather than independent Taiwan. President Tsai Ing-wen had declared, and you go to Google search, WHO had excluded Taiwan from its official membership. Now, the World Air Association is not allowed for Taiwan to fly as an independent nation of Taiwan, but only to fly as a part of China Aviation. They treat Taiwan as a Chinese province. It is a matter of time that the United States will stop all Chinese flights to the U.S. When that happens, the United States will also have to ban all Taiwanese flight. That is something that the United States does not want to do. From these events, we can conclude that China will do something to relieve world's attention. The war will come for sure. The war has arrived in China, which has corona epidemic, the bird flu, and earthquakes. China Communist is isolated from the world. The Chinese Communist is a tiger in a tight corner. My disciple and her husband in Beijing said that it is not likely they ran out of Beijing to escape the epidemic, but it is to avoid the war between Taiwan and China. If this happens, all the target that President Tsai Ing-wen will fire by 7,000 to 8,000 Taiwanese intercontinental missiles to hundreds of key operational targets in China, but not Wuhan. The major apparatus of the Chinese Communist Party is located in Beijing. Sincerely yours. Vietnamese people needs to be more cautious about the genocide. It's not only for the people of Vietnam, but also for Taiwan and world community. Those who have relatives in Hawaii should call to verify. Being alert in station camps, indicating that when the Taiwan War occurs, the United States will intervene. The United States and Taiwan had signed a protection treaty. The Chinese Communists can risk their lives, but China could not win this war. Economic and social market have collapsed, and trust have been lost. The world look at Chinese Communists like leopards. Chinese economy is isolated. Only fighting against Taiwan is an option to savage faith of those frustrated with generals, and will continue to serve Xi Jinping because of the ideal of dominating Taiwan. Respectfully yours, Thầy Thich Thong Lai.
Các quả tiễn liên lục địa, 7-8 ngàn quả tiễn liên lục địa, bà Thái Anh Văn không bắn vào Vũ Hán, mà sẽ bắn vào hàng trăm mục tiêu quan trọng điều hành cái guồng máy của Đảng Cộng sản Tàu đóng tại Bắc Kinh. Trân trọng kính chào quý vị. Đồng bào Việt Nam càng ngày càng thận trọng vì cái nạn mà diệt chủng đang xảy ra không phải chỉ cho dân tộc Việt Nam mà còn xảy ra cho Đài Loan và cho thế giới. Ai có bà con đi lính đóng ở Hawaii gọi đi đang bị cắm trại, tức là khi mà chiến tranh ở Đài Loan xảy ra, Hoa Kỳ sẽ can thiệp bằng một hiệp ước bảo vệ Đài Loan đã có ký. Như vậy người lầm Tàu Cộng làm liều, nhưng mà Tàu Cộng không thể nào chiến thắng trong cuộc chiến này. Thị trường kinh tế, thị trường chứng khoán sụp đổ, lòng tin đã mất, thế giới nhìn Tàu Cộng như là những người cùi hủi, và nền kinh tế thì đã bị cô lập, chỉ còn đánh Đài Loan để mà vớt vát. Hàng tướng lãnh đang đảo chánh Bắc Kinh sẽ quay đầu để mà phục vụ cho Tập Cận Bình vì lý tưởng muốn đánh Đài Loan. Trân trọng kính chào quý vị.